Welcome to the second episode to this publishing podcast that still hasn't a name. If you have any ideas, drop them below in the comments. But today we are again here with myself, Andrey. I'm a self-publisher. I made $123,000 in my best month from publishing. And with me is Tim Gebhardt, Tim the Machine, Tim the Rocket, the man with 1,000 names. Tim, welcome.
Tim the technician is on board, guys. Maybe let's also mention my numbers for the intros, and we know that catches a lot of people's attention. I'm currently at, I think it's about 200K lifetime royalties, 55K a month this month.
In less than a year.
In less than a year.
That's insane.
I don't want to flex though, but yeah, okay. What is the topic today, Andrey?
What's the topic today? Today we're talking about tools. I mean, you're Tim the technician, so it's obvious that you use a lot of tools, but all of self-publishing is a lot about tools. Every publisher uses at least 5 different things every day that's related to publishing if they're doing publishing series. It's so much about tools, and you don't really realize that if you don't look at it consciously. But we today, each of us has 5 tools listed that we use every day or that are just really important to us and for our business.
I have to admit, it was really hard for me to reduce it down to 5 tools. I have more like 5 tool categories, or you will see in a second. But yeah, I think if you're not aware of the tool landscape, there's a lot of information that you can take from this video.
Yeah,
a lot of new things probably.
Also, I mentioned before the interview to you, my last tool will make you laugh. You got spoiled, unfortunately, but it's
it's a good tool. I use it every day. Also. I also actually wrote it down. Should we go one by one?
Yeah, you can start if you want it. Then
okay. So for me right now, my essential tool, I talk to it all day, is Claude Code. I've been ever since OpenClaw was released, I've been inspired to build like my own OpenClaw, but it's Claude Code based, so I can actually use it with the Anthropic subscription, which saves me a lot of money.
I think for most people it was just a lot of complicated words that they don't know what to make of. Maybe you can.
Okay. I think Claude Code, you might have heard about Claude Code already. Let's start off with OpenClaw. You've heard about OpenClaw. It went viral. If you've not heard about OpenClaw, I recommend you staying more up to date with AI stuff, but it went super viral. It's like an autonomous AI agent that can solve really complex tasks. It can control your computer as well. It can you can message with it through Slack or through WhatsApp, through Telegram. Essentially, it's like if we compare it to a normal LLM like ChatGPT, it's cannot only output text, but it can actually do stuff.
Yeah.
So, and Claude Code is more or less the same. It can also execute stuff. It can control stuff on your computer. Claude Code or Claude Cowork, they're essentially the same, I believe. I don't only use it to code, I also use it to automate stuff. And I also use it like a regular LLM also.
So just like a GPT chat, ask questions.
Basically. But yeah, a lot of things it can do. It can, as I said, control your browser, so it can control website, it can control tools. You can teach it tasks that it can do again in the future. You can connect it to your emails. It can read your emails. It can give you summaries of your emails. It's basically my tool that I'm training on the context of my life, on the context of all businesses that I'm involved in. It always knows what am I doing at the moment, what is the next task for me. It prepares stuff for me. It can solve, like it can complete tasks for me, like sending out emails. However, I'm still the one sending it out. I just use it to draft emails. It also can do publishing related workflows now. So I've also taught it this. I think it would be worth a whole whole video maybe, or whole session going into detail what it can do. But yeah, that's my #1 tool at the moment, and I think also one of the most important ones.
Yeah. My first tool is compared to that fairly simple. My first tool I wrote on is Canva. I think most publishers know Canva. It's a really simple web design app.
Yeah.
You can. It's normal. I think it's mainly for making advertisements and flyers. If flyers is flyers in English.
I think so,
word.
yeah.
Like posters, stuff like that, for marketing reasons. But I create entire books with it. All my first 20 or even 30 books, I created all of them in Canva. I have some books that are so big that the Canva file is too big.
Yeah.
And Canva tells me you need to create a second Canva file.
Yeah.
So I have, my biggest book has 5 Canva files.
Yeah.
And I needed to download all of them as a PDF and then use a PDF. I don't know what they're called, but that combines PDF documents to make these 5 into one big PDF that I then can upload on KDP.
Yeah. I also had to do that one time because I don't know if it was, I think it was because in Canva I didn't figure out how to get the page numbers to start on a later page, and I had to like create one project without page numbers, then put it together because I didn't want the page numbers to start at a later part. But yeah, just as random side fact.
Yeah.
Tool number 2.
Yeah, you can.
Or maybe I can also give some input to Canva, and I can also continue with what I've been using for a long time instead of Canva. It's Photoshop. I think Canva and Photoshop is very, very similar. However, I've now switched to Canva as well, since I think Canva is easier to outsource or to teach people that are not super
definitely
tech affiliated. Yeah, in general, I think we can categorize this as my second tool, like image editing softwares.
Yeah.
Manual image editing softwares. I will also go later into AI image editing softwares, but manual image editing design softwares are a big tool in my toolbox. However, they get less and less. The better AI gets, the less I use Photoshop. Also in Photoshop, they have, since 2 years or so now, I think it was 2024 when it first released, like a generative AI feature inside Photoshop. And that has changed the way I use Photoshop completely. It's the most used tool for me in Photoshop since it got released. Yeah. Also now in Photoshop they released the Gemini Access, so Nano Banana Access inside Photoshop, which is crazy. But I will get to the AI part and the different AI models in a second.
So that was the second tool for you, was the
Photoshop or Canva
editing. So okay.
Yeah.
Photo and video editing, or photo editing.
Yeah.
Image editing. One thing you mentioned with Canva also is to have it easy to outsource, and that's how actually I use it the most. I make like Loom recordings or screen shares and make very basic Canva templates, and then record myself how I first created those templates and then how I fill out those templates with the real content, and then give that to a freelancer who then creates the book in Canva. And what I do nowadays is I create the book myself in PublishFlow, or let a freelancer create them in PublishFlow, and then they just copy at the end the text into a Canva template that's really beautifully designed. So I have the great output text from PublishFlow plus the Canva design that's very easily to design and create, more flexible, and looks then a visually beautiful book with a great text. So I do that, combine that, and that's just the freelancer. He or she enters everything that costs me like $20, and the entire book is perfectly formatted and publishable.
Yes, it's crazy. I think you mentioned there one essential tool just on the side. I don't think it's on your list, and neither it's on my list. I didn't think about it, but Loom and screen recorders.
Actually, a great tool. Yeah.
We use it every day. I think I use it every day. I'm probably sure you use it every day also. I think that's a big essential as well.
Loom is just for the people. Loom is just a screen recording software. You have your image, your video of your face cam in the corner of the screen, and you can then screen share everything and make tutorial videos for freelancers and so on.
just a side fact, I don't only use it to make tutorial videos for freelancers or other humans. I also use it to record
Other humans. We're living in crazy times.
Yeah, I use it to record processes to teach to my AI, basically. Or if I have a very specific question about a process, let's say I'm doing the taxes, I'm on the website, I don't know what to do. I either give it a screenshot, or if I have a specific problem, this thing here, right here, I don't get it, I show it on video, give it to Claude. He understands my problem, gives me the solution.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my second tool, yeah, we mentioned Loom. Loom is great, but my second tool is Notion. People don't know what Notion is. Notion is, how do you explain Notion? It's so much. It's like a note-taking software at its core, but you can use it for project management.
Yeah.
We can make, just notes.
Yeah, I would say it's project management and note-taking.
Yeah, combined.
Task management.
And I have all my books, it's like a Kanban process.
Yeah.
So you have these tables and you move a book, for example, book idea. Then you validated it from the niche research, validation, validated.
Yeah.
Then you create a title for it. Title created, you create a description for it, description created. You wrote the outline out, so you can move it, so you keep track of your book creation process.
It's also how I manage my book creation process. I also have a Notion board set up.
Yeah.
I'm just got the idea because I'm tracking my tasks currently through my Claude Code Super Tim. I also have a manual task list on my phone. Super Tim, by the way, is the way I call my Claude Code system that has all the context of my life. I just had the idea. I think I need to hook it up to Notion because I'm pretty sure you can connect it to Notion directly through API.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit technical for non-technical people, but I think I could let it visualize my task list there, and I think it would give me a much better overview.
Yeah. Yeah, overall for the people, Notion is just a very simple but still effective way to organize your book production and get an overview of all your books in the production process. Because if you create, for example, 5 books at the same time, like I do, sometimes even more at the same time, then you need to keep track which book is at which step of production. And Notion is perfect for that.
It's a little bit like keeping a Google Sheet, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like it way more than Google Docs. I don't just have a Notion page, look similar to Google Docs and have everything there, and it's ordered in my Notion workspace.
Yeah.
But we can continue with the third tool.
As the third section is, let's continue maybe with the image editing or image generation, but with AI. So previously I've been using all the different models. Every new model that comes out, I just try it. I find the strength and I switch between the strengths. If we just go for publishing, I've been creating the covers in Ideogram. I've been editing the covers in Sora. Then Nano Banana came out. I've been editing covers in Nano Banana. It's like a lot of different AI image generation tools. Each has their strengths when it comes to image editing, image generation. But yeah, since we've worked on PublishFlow and essentially the design tools for PublishFlow, I've been just using this because it combines all my strategy into one tool. It uses the tool I would use for each part, and it just simplifies it down. And I also think the whole simplifying it down into one interface is much easier to teach to somebody. And I think my kind of vision at the moment, or it was previously, it kind of changed. I still think this idea is relevant. Like simplify process down so much that the human skill involved is only the judging and the
clicking
selection, clicking, judging, and selecting the best output. And essentially, when it's boiled down to this simple process, eventually a AI that controls your browser could also do the process. You then just only have to teach your judging and reasoning skills. That's a whole different thing. It's kind of not there at the moment. The whole situation I just explained, I think, is super technical. Probably a lot of you guys are just, what the fuck are they talking? But yeah, AI image generation, I can't imagine the times how it was before AI image generation.
Yeah.
I was into design, video editing, etc. But I was like, it felt like I have one arm, and on that arm only 2 fingers compared compared to now. I was able to do like a small portion of what I'm able to do now, and with such a crazy speed and with such a high quality that is just like crazy essential tool for me. Image generation AI.
Yeah. Especially the visuals from
Yeah,
PublishFlow.
since that exists, especially that one, when it comes to the whole publishing related image generation.
Yeah. Yeah, my third tool I wrote on is PublishFlow. And the whole idea behind PublishFlow, when I start working on it together with Roman, my co-founder and the developer of it, is to make what you just mentioned, to make it easy at one place. Because I had these travel agents creating the travel guides for my travel guide brand, and I showed them 3 different AI tools and made 4 or 5 Loom videos, all about 20 minutes, to show them exactly how to create the books with the process I want them to use. Because if they don't use it like that, the quality gets shit with AI.
Yeah.
So it's a very precise workflow that they need to follow, and they just couldn't follow it or had questions. It's just complicated to do that. And they took like 2 or 3 weeks until they can start with the creation, because they have so many questions how the process works. And PublishFlow just combines that now into one app. I can give access them to a title I created there and the description. They can from then on start creating the outline, feedbacking it with their expertise, write the entire book, fact check it, proofread it, and it's finished.
Yeah.
So it saves like a month of work and a lot of money to pay them for all the time.
I always had the phrase, Andrey has heard it multiple times. I tried to simplify my workflows down so much that even my mom could understand it. Who's not a very technical person. But I think that's also what PublishFlow essentially does. It guides you through step by step. I think it has the explainer video almost integrated.
Yeah.
Like the process is so convenient, maybe that's the right word, that there are much less questions than when you teach somebody these complex multi-tool, step-by-step AI processes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your fourth one?
Video generation AI. I think the whole AI video stuff has such a big influence in general in the marketing sector. Like I see it in every ad I see. It doesn't need to be the AI avatars. It can also be like just like VO3 animated videos. VO3 is Google's image model. You might know these Sasquatch selfie videos. That was the hype when VO3 came out. Yeah, whole AI video generation, big essential for my marketing stuff that I'm working on.
Yeah, my fourth tool is also an AI. It's Gemini. Gemini is my everyday AI that I ask for any questions. I do basic research with it. It's just, instead of, most people use ChatGPT as their main model, and I abandoned that, I think, over a year ago, and switched to Gemini. And I mainly use Gemini, the thinking mode, the deep research mode, and the normal pro mode. It's the best basic AI in my mind.
I also think especially for the deep research stuff, I also still like Gemini the most, because I always think Google is like the most spread search engine, has to be the best deep research engine. Yeah, maybe as my last tool, it is actually deep research. I think deep research is not the direct tool. It's a like tool in a tool for multiple tools. But since deep research came out, it feels like no problem is unsolvable. I think
maybe for the people, what deep research is like a mode of an AI. If you use an AI like ChatGPT, you can select deep research, and the AI will then go out and research the internet and will just feedback with itself and give you a big report of what it researched. That's
exactly.
just yeah.
And it's getting a little bit technical again, but ever since deep research came out, like there are some benchmark tests for AI models, and when deep research came out, the like academic level of academic works had a big jump because it just goes off for 20 minutes, looks at 400 websites, gets a full image of the problem you're trying to solve or the topic you're doing a deep research on, and it just, the quality of output is like, it's an expert on the topic in 20 minutes. It's an expert on the topic. And also like tags, situations, law situations, it's able to give really good insights and feedback on, even if it's like super niche, it will find something somewhere on the internet compared to some other thing that it has found. And I think it's safe to say that it almost always comes out with the truth. I think it's always comes out with the truth. Still, somebody might still be able to find like maybe inconsistencies or whatever. But yeah, deep research just brought a lot to my problem-solving skills.
Yeah,
it improved it a lot. Yeah.
Okay, my last tool maybe sounds weird to some people, but it's WhatsApp. and not for communication purposes. Of course, I use WhatsApp all day for writing. But why I love WhatsApp is I started using it mainly for send documents or text from my phone to my desktop, or my laptop. So I created a group with myself on WhatsApp where I send everything that I want to have on my laptop via my phone, or vice versa, the other way around. And then it's so convenient. And also all the texts I write, the descriptions for my book, if it's some kind of sales copy, I always write it in WhatsApp and save it there. I just love the interface of WhatsApp, and I can write better texts for some reasons in WhatsApp, even though it's not at all optimized for that. But I'm so used to WhatsApp, and I just love it.
And now you love that. I've never understood it because you can only like see a small part of the text you write. But
I always send Tim scripts and texts in WhatsApp that are 5 times as long as the entire chat, and he always says, "Why don't you do it in the Google Docs and then send me the docs? Why do you send me the chat?"
Yeah, but everybody their own, each their own. But the fact with the file sharing in WhatsApp, not only between yourself, I also have a group with myself. I also save passwords in WhatsApp. I don't know if that's the smartest thing. But
I don't know if that's the smartest thing to share publicly.
No, never mind. But I've lost access to my old WhatsApp number, and that was a little bit headache because I had so much files and passwords stored there. But it's end-to-end encrypted. I think it's pretty safe. I think it's at least safer than saving it in a Google Drive document. But yeah, the file sharing, I completely did not remember when I read your WhatsApp on the list. But yeah, I'm sharing files with you. I'm sharing files with designers. I'm primarily using WhatsApp, except for content files that are too large for WhatsApp. I think they have an upload limit of like 64 megabyte or something.
I don't know.
Or I think for zips it's different. I don't know. When I try to share videos, sometimes it says, "Oh, videos maximum file limit is 64 megabytes, I believe." I'm not sure, but yeah, WhatsApp ultra essential.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly us Europeans, or I think since Meta bought WhatsApp, it's also the US. But
in Europe, I think everybody uses WhatsApp, except the Swedes. We found out. But everybody in Germany and Austria, at least, I think 98% of all people alive use WhatsApp. Maybe that's exaggerated, but everybody uses it.
Yeah, I think in India it's also big. I think China has their own. US now also is using WhatsApp. I think business-wise, the US people still use iMessage, I believe. Everybody has an iPhone. But WhatsApp has also gotten really big since Meta bought it, pretty sure. Okay.
I think it was a great video. If the people who are watching or listening interested in PublishFlow, we will launch in about a week when you see this podcast. So you can click on the link and register for the webinar. It will be a really nice and interesting launch webinar with a big founding member deal. So make sure to be live at the webinar, in the webinar.
I think exciting times we live in. So many tools are out there, but I think tools are getting less and less because more tools come up that combine everything into smaller tools. And I think what we did with PublishFlow is like, based on the feedback, is people are mind blown what it can do and the amount of time it saves. Maybe for the YouTube comments, any tool you've heard now that you would be more interested in seeing how we use that tool? I know that Canva is always big. Probably a lot of guys want to see Canva videos. Girls, of course. I think that would be interesting. But yeah, let us know.
And if you have a name suggestion for us, because we still don't have a name. I hope we have a name when we launch the podcast, so we already maybe have one if you see that. But now when we film this, we don't have a name, so you can also post suggestions there if you don't already found one.
Yeah, we at least have to give it a channel name.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we just do placeholder podcast. No, let's see.
We will find a solution.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Tim. And until
Thanks
next
for
time.
having me. Or let's do this. We're doing this together. You're not having me.
Yeah,
we're having each other. See you next time, guys.